Welcome to Why Put in New Systems the Old Way. During the presentation, we'll contrast the traditional method for buying business management and accounting software, which was developed in the 1980s when we first began distributing these systems, with a 21st century approach. We call this new approach Start and Grow, and it makes the way you acquire new systems better, faster, and less expensive. We hope you find this both informative and useful in your search for tools to improve your business performance. When I was a practicing CPA in the late 80s through the mid-90s, anyone who hand-wrote a check to my firm became a prospect for a new system. Back then, I was educating people about the benefits of automation over manual processing, and as time evolved, the accounting software added more modules and became Enterprise Resource Planning, or ERP, and as we refer to it, business management software, and it became much more sophisticated, and the selection process became long, cumbersome, and a revenue stream for our firm. Now my team and I are bringing over 30 years of experience in implementing systems for distributors through sapdistribution.com. That picture is me running for beer because we all need a motivation for change. I run faster and drink beer slower than I used to, which are both benefits for my health. I am better, faster, and my beer is less expensive because I drink less of it. I will try to make this presentation quick so we can get to your questions and you can get back to running your business as quickly as possible. So historically, the adage has been you can pick two, good, cheap, or fast. Personally, I do not want good. I want excellent or awesome. I hate cheap. I'll take a good buy any day of the week, but the last thing I want from something is something that falls apart because it's cheap. I do like fast, but I am definitely not looking for fast but not good. Remember, I want awesome. We realize that people don't want to change systems. Few people like change. Technology is moving so fast it's hard to keep up. And if you're like me, you want to sell more to make more, not spend more on software to make people in Silicon Valley richer. Most people come to us because something is broken or they can't do what they need to do with what they currently have. Because accounting and business management systems are critical to the operation of your business, the traditional software selection process was long, tedious, and painful because a mistake in the selection process can be the most expensive mistake you will ever make in your business. At a recent ITA conference, one technology service provider was explaining how he gets paid between $15,000 and $50,000 to help small businesses choose the right product through this extensive process. He sounded like a lawyer because he was the only one winning in that engagement. And over the past 5 years or so, we've been working on a better way, a faster way, using proven software that cuts risk and lowers costs. Software has been specifically designed for companies by their size. There are many levels of size, and the lines are typically drawn based upon revenue, number of employees, or some other aspect that is not always relevant to your business. A distributor selling expensive HVAC units will have fewer transactions and employees than a plumbing supplier with similar revenue selling components to small installers. You can draw the lines where you like, but the basic premise was that the larger the company, the more flexible, also known as complex, the software becomes. A VP of marketing for one of the major software companies once told me that the difference between each level of software in the market was 10% functionality and 10 times the cost. And companies are willing to pay when they have a need for that function. And accordingly, the larger software companies left functions out of the lower priced software to encourage customers to migrate up their stack of software. People did that long selection process to slot you into the right product. And the sad thing is that each time you move up the ladder, it's not only a cost for a software, but it's a disruption of your business. A company that had outgrown the small business systems typically spent between $35,000 and $50,000 on a new system implementation, excluding the cost of internal salaries and any external IT consulting that you may have needed for your on-premise hardware, connectivity, and network support. And that estimate was for an out-of-the-box system with little customization other than forms and reports. Our rule of thumb for traditional software is about $2,000 to $3,000 per user, plus 1 to 1.5 times the license cost for services such as training, configuration, and data conversion for that out-of-the-box solution. Custom components and third-party software enhancements can drive up the cost for both licensing and services to 2 or 3 times that number. So we've been talking about history. And just as a sales cycle is a long and tedious process for the vendor, it was for the buyer too. And cloud computing and software as a service has allowed small companies to enter into the market and offer point solutions to overcome some of the limitations of those entry-level systems. You have add-ons to enhance inventory management in QuickBooks that will allow you, and other add-ons that allow you to import and export data to and from Excel so you can work around those limitations. But those are cheap solutions that often lead to silos of information and create different problems. And there's a better way to do this where you can have your cake and eat it too. Better, faster, and less expensive than traditional methods, both in the short term and the long term. And this traditional process started with a salesperson trying to sell you software. But do you really want to be sold anything? Research says that you want to talk to a technical or industry expert or a fellow business owner. People like you who are on this call today reach out to us because you're in a buying cycle, not a selling cycle. You reach out to us because you've searched the internet, downloaded white papers, and watched videos of our products. And as compared to the traditional sales approach, we try to provide you enough information to make an informed decision in your buying cycle. We've replaced the traditional ERP salesperson with a former training specialist and a systems architect who can try and help you to qualify yourself into the appropriate package. And as you will see over the next few minutes, the whole packaged approach changes the way that you buy. Instead of a vendor selling you as much as they can to solve your current and maybe your future anticipated problems, where they try to make the deal as big as possible to get the most money they can and get the deal off the street, we start with the basics. And you only buy what you need when you need it. Business owners like me want the bottom line. And what if I told you that the total cost for your first year will be less than half that of the traditional cost? We call this Start and Grow. And Start and Grow is how you get what you need at an affordable price. It's faster because we've taken the industry and implementation knowledge and pre-configured the basic stuff and some of the inventory features needed by distributors, some other advanced features too. And it's better because it's SAP Business One, which can grow with your business for a long time to come. It's less expensive, less than 50% of the upfront cost of a traditional or comparable system, with predictable costs over the long term. And let me explain to you how our solution is truly awesome, faster, and less expensive. We call this approach Start and Grow, and we start with the base package, which includes all the core components that the distributor will need. The Start service is a fixed fee, so you know what the cost is for specific functionality included in the package. And that base distribution package starts just under $10,000. Because the basic components are pre-configured, this fixed fee is primarily for the training of your personnel on how to use the system. For example, any system can print a check to pay a bill. In the Start service, we show you how to enter the bank information, such as what's your next check number, and how to print checks either one at a time or using our payment wizard for batch payment creation. If you need more specific functionality that's in the base package, you can select one of the additional Grow packages either initially or after you go live. The software is also a fixed price per month per user, starting at $149 per month. This is extremely affordable for small business. And although it's called the base package, it includes many advanced functions well beyond QuickBooks and other small business systems. With 30 years serving distributors, we have baked our industry knowledge into the configuration of the software. SAP Business One is from the #1 maker of application software in the world. SAP is often referred to as systems and processes, and it uses the experience gained in the large companies in SAP Business One and improves the product to maintain its leadership position. Our team is filled with consultants who have worked in, studied, and implemented for distribution companies for over 30 years. This is all put together in a package that can help you grow your business and make more money. For example, we've integrated credit card processing into the order-to-cash cycle. But we did more than just connect you to a payment processor. We created what's called a PCI Level 3 compliance system, which lowers your cost and in some cases can pay for the entire system. Everyone needs security over credit card processing, but not everyone can be an expert in how best to do it. This Level 3 compliance means that not only do we ensure that no sensitive credit card information is stored inside the software, but that we send the credit card processor information on what type of commodity is being sent to which zip code with the order amount. This gets you lower rates. As a matter of fact, if we can't save you money on credit card fees, we will give you $500. We call our implementation program Start and Grow because we have so much to assist you in taking your business to the next level. Additional packages are typically recommended in an additional phase after you've completed implementing the base package. Although we can and have included these additional blocks of service in the initial implementation, we find the modular or the phased approach works best. And this is because change is hard. Companies often want to get through the basics first without overwhelming their staff. And more importantly, it saves you money. We partner with our customers, we don't fleece them. Why pay for all the users while implementing when you only have a handful that will be using the system? The building block concept is just like phasing a construction process. You typically only charge based upon milestones. You can't build all the floors without a solid foundation, and you can't build kits until you have items. You can't forecast demand until you have a good sales history. With our packaged approach, you can see the value of each block and make a decision on what and when to purchase. The first time you use a tool, you may be okay with it, but after using it for a while, you become more proficient. And software is the same. By getting familiar with the base package, you can add the advanced packages easier with less effort and cost because you will understand the way the software thinks. These grow packages are where you can really expand the reach of your business. Mobile devices are the future. Their use is growing much faster than PCs and laptops, and they are the preferred device of millennials. This may be a cloudy world, but it is still run by people who buy from people. And those people are not usually sitting in your office, and your team needs access to the information wherever they may be. Imagine how your representative can go on site, seal the deal, and take the order right away. Better yet, your staff can see what is in your warehouse in real time. Mobile sales and the Business One mobile application comes with each license, so you can have the information at your fingertips. And e-tailing is the fastest area for business growth today, and it's not just for retail. We have both business-to-consumer and business-to-business packages that extend your sales well beyond the confines of your office and warehouse. Our cloud platform has connectors with leading e-commerce packages which have secure password capabilities so you can control who orders on the website. It keeps your inventory availability up to date in the website. It automatically downloads orders into the Business One to eliminate duplicate entry. And it keeps everyone up to speed with the status of their orders via automated email notification. It also updates the status of shipments, including tracking numbers, to the web store. And although SAP Business One is available on-premise, the beauty of SAPdistribution.com is that the software is already installed and configured in the cloud. The question is, how much time do you have to learn it? We've deployed the package and gone live in as little as 3 weeks. It typically takes about 4 to 6 weeks for you to prepare your data and load it into the system and learn how to use the software. But this is much faster than a traditional implementation, and faster means you can start getting the benefits sooner. It's also awesome because the SAP platform can grow with your business. SAP has invested over $1 billion into Business One over the past few years, and it continues to invest heavily in both technology and functionality. We have companies with one user and companies with hundreds of users in the same software. SAP Business One is not the same SAP as run by the 70% of the Fortune 500, but a package that is built from the ground up to be easy to use, easy to customize, easy to communicate with from outside sources like web stores or other clouds. We also invest continuously in our industry knowledge and configuration of these packages. We've taken this experience from the history of our traditional implementations and created a streamlined process for rapid implementation. This process is supported by an online collaboration tool, so you know what needs to be done and when. We know that deploying a new system takes time and effort from your staff, so the schedule can be tailored to your team, and we typically recommend implementing during your slowest season. The key to success is your team learning the software, and we have created short pre-learning and refresher videos to augment the SAP Business One Academy to introduce your team to the key concepts prior to a coaching session with one of our certified training staff. These coaching sessions are typically an hour in length and follow a detailed schedule. Having this detail lets you know a number of things: where you stand in the rollout of your system, who from your team needs to attend each session, how much time to block off their schedules, what advanced preparation should be performed before the session to make it efficient, and of course, what's coming next. And SAP is not just for big business. Dirk has 2 office people and a team of people who store and deliver seed to farmers in Texas. They had a specific need that QuickBooks could not handle. Their burning platform was the spreadsheet hell from tracking bulk purchase contracts and sales contracts to make sure they made money on each large purchase contract. 3 weeks later, they were running SAP Business One without spreadsheets. And a couple of years later, their costs have remained constant, and they are currently going through their second major version upgrade, all at the same predictable cost. So as we said it before, the typical first-year cost, excluding external IT costs for on-premise hardware, connectivity, etc., is less than half of the traditional implementation. And if you look closer at this graph, there's only one cost that is higher with Start and Grow, and that's training. Because teaching your people how to use the system in their jobs is key to improving your business operations. So it isn't just better, it is awesome. SAP Business One is the safe choice. SAPdistribution.com lowers your risk, not only because it's SAP, the #1 application software vendor, but we've used this configuration over and over again for years, so it is proven to work. It grows with you. It's not just our packages, but it's way beyond that with the tons of tools to personalize it to your business as you grow and as you change. It's also way faster. As we did with Dirks in 3 weeks from start to live, it typically takes 1 to 2 months because your people typically aren't sitting around waiting to change systems. But 1 to 2 months is still typically faster than a traditional on-premise installation. It's less expensive now and in the long term because the costs are predictable and they don't go up. It's awesome, faster, and less expensive. So at this point, I'm going to look at the chat and I'm going to unmute Jan Lawrence, who works with me here at SAPdistribution.com, so we can answer some of the questions that have come in over chat. I'm going to handle this first one, which says, what if we must have kitting? Can we get that with the base package? And in Business One, we use the bill of materials for kitting functionality. It's in the initial implementation some of the time, and if you need it, you can definitely have. What if I have something that okay, so basically this person is asking if they have some specific function in the way that their company works, can it fit into a package? And honestly, this is the beauty of Business One. It's amazing what we can personalize for your business using standard tools within the software. So we can typically either provide an estimate or a fixed fee for any company-specific tailoring that can be part of the first project if it's required. What if I have WooCommerce? Can you work with that? And actually, we have worked with WooCommerce before, as well as many other e-commerce sites.
Yes, I have one from Bill. He's just asking, he's assuming that there's some type of project plan associated with the Start and Grow and wants to know how flexible it is.
Well, let me bring up that slide that kind of shows a little bit about the project plan. So there are some aspects of the project plan which are put in a specific order for a specific reason. So on this slide, you can see vendor master data comes before item master data because typically you buy your items from a particular vendor, so you want to set them up first. Other aspects of it are very flexible, especially the timing of the delivery of the sessions. So we do tailor the plan to the particular engagement, typically following a pretty standard order, but depending upon what elements are included and what packages are included, we do modify the schedule.
And then there was another question from Daniel. He's just stating, we have regulations that seem to be changing all the time. How does Start and Grow customize and change with our processes?
So there's a lot of ways that we could answer that question. So we've done work in a lot of different industries, including pharmaceuticals, which are going under some crazy regulations right now. We've dealt with food, and they have lots of changes. If you look at this slide on the base distribution package, off to the right here you see a number of different analytics. These are all basically configurable to your particular situation, and they can be graphs, they can be all sorts of different information. We have unlimited user-defined fields. We can do a lot of tailoring to the system. However, again, we recommend doing it in a phased approach. If there is something that's changing, then clearly you've already been using the software. We can change it. We use SAP Business One inside of our business. Our business has changed dramatically over the past 17 years that we've been in the cloud, because the cloud didn't even wasn't even called the cloud when we started. So we've adapted Business One using the tools within the software to make it fit our business, and that's the beauty of Business One, and that's why we say it can grow with you over all these different levels in the software continuum.
I do have another question that came in, Gary. This is from Joseph. I keep hearing that SAP is really expensive and big. How is this different?
Well, this is SAP Business One. The large enterprise uses a software that's either called S4 or All-in-One or R3. Basically, that's the original SAP product that was built back in the 80s. This SAP Business One was built from ground up to be for small business, and it has none of the same code as the large SAP. The one thing that is good about it is it has standard tools to communicate with those large systems. So if you work with one of your suppliers is, let's say, like a Home Depot, and you buy or you sell from them, you can send them purchase orders or receive sales orders from those large systems, but it is a completely different system that is so much easier to use. Not at all the same.
And I do have one last question, Gary. This is coming in from Matt. Can you explain more about the phased approach and how that actually saves you money?
Well, there are a couple of different aspects to that. First of all, by using the base distribution package and starting with our start service, it is probably around 70% pre-configured. So as I gave the example of with the banks, we pre-configured standard banks, and all you have to do is change the name and put in your check number. We've also done that with what are called item groups or product lines within the software. So you can change item group 1 to plumbing supplies, or item group 2 to faucets, or item group 3 to tile, or whatever your item groups happen to be, and all the configuration is there. And then we have templates for loading the data using those pre-configured elements, so everything goes much quicker. So then once you're in that base distribution package and you've used it for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, depending upon how quickly you guys adapt to the system, then you understand the way the software thinks. So when you're adding kits, all the language is familiar. You understand the way the software thinks and works. So you need less help from us, and we find that the implementation with these packages goes much smoother, much faster, and you guys pick it up so much quicker. So you get the benefits not only quicker and faster, but you can really make it fit your business better by doing it in this phased approach. So let me check chat one more time, and if you can too, Jen. If we don't have any more questions, I really want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. We do have a 6-point analyzer on our website, which basically walks you through the steps of if you would get benefit from a tool like sapdistribution.com. It's not for everybody, but if you're a growing distributor and you need integrated e-commerce, you have multiple websites or multiple warehouses that may have different costs, or you need advanced unit of measure conversions, or one of the plethora of features that's available within the software, this tool will help you determine whether it's worth looking at so you can make the right buying decision. Thanks again for your time, and we hope to have the opportunity to earn your business.